Breaking news just coming into the WBTV newsroom in the case of missing girl Asha Degree. The search warrants executed by the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, FBI, and SBI last week are now public.
These new documents outline in detail what investigators were looking for and give new details in the DNA evidence detectives say connect a Cleveland County family to Degree's disappearance. Degree went missing in February of 2000, and we were the first to tell you last week that investigators were searching a property on Cherryville Road in Shelby. We also were the first to alert you when Cleveland County Sheriff Alan Norman said that search was tied to the Degree case. And we were the first to tell you about this latest update this morning online.
Our Jason Puckett has been in Cleveland County combing through these warrants all morning. Jason, investigators say they believe Degree was the victim of a homicide and her body was concealed.
Yeah, that is according to these search warrants. 8 of them in total carried out across parts of Cleveland County, 1 in Charlotte as well, giving us a lot more information, including that 2 suspects have been named whose DNA was found on Degree's belongings. To break this down a little bit more for you here, the warrants last week carried out on the property of Roy Dedman. He and his wife Connie are listed as the suspects in the disappearance of Asha Degree, but it's actually their daughter, Anna Lee Victoria Dedman Ramirez, who the warrants say matched DNA found on Degree's belongings. Now, Anna Lee would have been just 13 when Asha went missing. Also listed matching DNA, Russell Underhill. He died in 2004, but the documents say he was a patient at healthcare facilities run by Roy and Connie Dedman. Now, the warrant also gives more info on the green car we saw taken from the scene last week. You'll remember investigators saying it matched a description of what an eyewitness told detectives years ago they saw Asha get into the last time she was seen back in February 2000. The affidavit also says that a Dedman family member told detectives they saw Roy Dedman digging a chest-deep hole in his property several years ago. Now, the warrants show the investigators did seize a number of things from multiple properties, including phones, computers, old diaries, photos, and more. Cleveland County Sheriff Alan Norman sent out a message this morning after the warrants were made public, reiterating that no remains have been found and saying, quote, "I know our community is anxious to learn about every aspect of our ongoing investigation. And while we appreciate your support, I urge you to put yourself in the place of Asha's family, who for 24 years have entrusted law enforcement to do everything possible to find her. Please do not spread or share rumors on social media. Official information will be released by my office when appropriate. Pray for Asha, her family, and everyone who has worked for decades to locate Shelby's sweetheart." Now, as the sheriff mentioned, there are a lot of new information coming out this morning. We are going to continue digging through these documents, and for a more thorough breakdown of these search warrants, make sure you check our website, WBTV.com. For now, here live in Shelby, Jason Puckett, WBTV, on your side.